Yonks with Web3 Freedom Club, and join with me here are Tyler, Amy, Double D, and the good Sam. So welcome, good afternoon, everybody. And I will share the YouTube link on our Zoom chat. And as always, we love the engagement on the YouTube. So be sure to give us a thumbs up, and we'll be monitoring the live stream too, so that if anybody is participating on the live stream, feel free to ask us a question there as well. So there's the link to this. So this is our POAP. Just want to give a shout out to thanks, Amy, for all that you do behind the scenes for getting POAPs. This is one of the fun ways, proof of attendance. It's an NFT that we get for participating on the working group here today. We're also doing, we are a tokenized Web3 Freedom Club is a Wyoming DAO, and we're going to be rewarding tokens for those of you that participate. And this is one of the things that I do want to just give a quick opportunity here real quick on our agenda real quick. So here's our agenda. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that we are still accepting new teammates for this project. And this Hero X has a deadline, and we're already less than, I think it's less than 4 weeks from our own internal deadline, which is September 19th. And that's before Tyler and I go on vacation. But we have a homepage here on Notion, and this is our project page. And I'll share a link on that on the live stream as well, so that everybody can see. And let me actually just share the link to our official team. And let me open the window over here. So Hero X. So this is a link to our team here. All right, here's that link for everybody. Link to our Hero X. And you had somebody that was wanting to join our team here, Amy. I saw that them pop in the Zoom group, but I don't see him here right now. So if you could help keep an eye on that. And one of the things too is that we are open for evaluating different technology. Zoom is one that we've used historically in the past, and it will likely be more difficult to replace, because one of the things that it does easily is integrate with Restream for facilitating our live stream broadcast. So this is our team here real quick, and wanted to make sure, I don't think, I sent you a invite link there, Double D. Make sure that you join the team here, because we're wanting to do the airdrop for our official team NFT here, ideally today. And this is one of the things that if I'll actually, and if you have any questions about that, reach out to myself or Tyler. But we've also got a link for people that are interested in joining the team here. And I'll share this on the live stream as well and in the Zoom. Here's a link to my calendar where someone can grab a 15 or 30-minute time slot as an onboarding conversation. So there's that there, and on the live stream for everybody as well. Link to my calendar for those interested in joining team. Okay. And I see Naza has joined us. Welcome, Naza. Thanks for joining our working group today. So we've got a pretty tight agenda. And one of the things on the team, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's the links there. Make sure that you can get those. And let me throw that in there too. The our official team link. So make sure that and it's a super quick process. It should take less than 5 minutes to go through the process for those of you. And there's, I think, 2 people on the Zoom here today, Double D and Naza, that haven't done that. So, and anyway, going down the agenda here real quick. So there's the first couple of things. So one of the things that I created, and this is just to make it easier for knowing what we need to submit. And I'm going to show everybody here real quick. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody. So this is the American Made Challenge, the official rules. And let me show you where's the other place that you can access that. So if you're looking at the team page, so if you just click up here on the little logo, and this is the Solar Prize Round 7 challenge that we're talking about, and the resources. So what I actually did was I downloaded and we were actually looking at the rules here. So this is, let me go back to this tab for the rules. So this is, right now, we're in the ready stage. This is the initial portion. This is a multiple tiered ready, set, go. So it's got 3 phases and it's a elimination process. So in order to participate in the additional tiers, you need to be approved or one of the semifinalists, I guess, is up to 20 semifinalists here. So section 2.6, what to submit in the evaluation criteria. So this is very similar. I don't think that this actually changed at all from when we being myself, Amy, and Tyler, when we submitted our for a different project in 2021 for round 5. So anyway, I brought this over into Notion here. So this is our project submission checklist that we can work on. And this is also here on our project homepage. This is the page that I've kind of created to organize all of the details. Just a friendly reminder for everybody, make sure that you get a team page created in our team directory. This is something that you have to do. I'm not going to do it for you. And this is something that we'll be working as far as getting the team narrative in the project submission as well. So the work in progress Hero X. So the submission form, and then let me actually show that here because I brought this into. So this is the submission template. I actually downloaded this over here from the resources page. So the submission template, and then the Jedi aspect, and we are planning on submitting both of those for this. So this is one of the things that I'll actually share with you via a Google Doc so that the people that are on the team can collaborate on this. And this is one of the things that we have found to be most effective for doing offline. We'll probably have, as we get closer to the 19th, and that's one of the things that we'll be talking about here momentarily as far as looking at our calendar, because now that we're less than 4 weeks away, we're really wanting to get everything finalized on the calendar so that we can work more effectively. Like this has actually been almost 2 weeks since we had our last working group, and some of that is on myself and Tyler, because this is something that we anyway, not going to go into details as far as why, but do you want to add anything here on this, Amy or Tyler, for the this template? This is going to be quite a bit different than what we did, because I think previously, instead of using a Google Doc, we submitted stuff via a GitHub, and I think that this will be a lot cleaner and easier. And then my expectation is that the people reviewing this probably will have, this will be a lot more familiar, because I would imagine majority of people will probably be just filling in the details as well. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let Amy or Tyler chime in some thoughts surrounding the narrative in our submission template here.
I've been working on, and I know, Jason, you have too, been working on the white paper for the project, which I think will largely be stuff that we can cut and paste into the narrative. But are we at a point where we're ready to start writing the narrative, or are we, or no?
Um, I, I think that we can start putting in some details, because and the reason that I bring it up is it's something that we need to be thinking about, because this is like the most important aspect is the submission template, and obviously this one is more important than Jedi, although I can't remember what the pot of money is for the Jedi aspect, but I think that we have a really strong opportunity with the gig worker niche being an underserved niche. And this is one of the things that we can attest to, like getting traditional financing for the solar aspect of what we're wanting to do is proving difficult. And that's one of the things that I think, Tyler, if we lean into more to substantiate that, that may further reinforce this narrative just from a very personal aspect. But yeah, like, I mean, us putting in our details surrounding the team, and this is absolutely something that's not going to change, and making this cleanly nice here, and maybe if we could come up with like some template to make it easier. And I don't know if we want to because one of the other cool things, and I don't anyway, I'm rambling again, but the other thing too is the working with partners and connectors, and this is something that I'm having some side conversations about, because like one of the aspects that we're having, and I've actually got this to plan to talk about later, but like getting a letter of support, and that's actually one of the other letters of commitment or support right here that we can be thinking about, because this is something that you don't just ask for normally at the 11th hour and then somebody will provide that. So this is one of the things that adds a lot of substantiation to the viability of what we're doing as well. Did you want to chime in anything on the submission form, Amy, or the narrative?
By the way, Amy, I wanted to check in with you. How is the affordable housing research going? That was something that I wanted to add into the white paper.
Well, let's curb that until. Can you bring that up later, Tyler? I'm wanting to stay on par with the submission requirements right now. Like as far as the submission template. Did you want to chime in anything on the narrative, Amy, from our previous experience?
Well, basically, the one that we did before, we can like pattern or just cut and paste what we could use from that part on what we're doing with Quad Co-op. I don't know if you have merged that information together. If not, we can do it on the working group. And then on the question of Tyler, I have not done it together on your area. Can you give me your zip code? Because I text me your zip code, because I don't know if your area is in the what you call this, low income area. Since you are planning on starting one in your area, one or two in your area, I wanted to make sure that we're on the same page on that. I understood what you wanted to happen. You wanted this for the affordable housing, I mean, in the disadvantaged area, or you want it in your North Glen area?
We were actually looking statewide, but we can follow up on that later, Amy.
Okay.
So, and since Tyler talked about the white paper, let me bring that onto the screen here. So this is the white paper that she is talking about, and so like taking a look here, like the four, and this is the submission template. So the 4-question written narrative problem. What is the problem and why is solving it important? So like one of the things that I think Tyler was talking about is that we've broken down 4 problems that we identified that we're solving problems here through our quad co-op solution. Is that what you were thinking there, Tyler?
Yeah, for the narrative and the white paper.
And making this a little bit bigger. So yeah, so like, and just to summarize here, the problems that we identified, gig economy platform workers are increasingly in a poverty trap cycle. Public utility companies cannot scale to support future desired EV growth. Economics for solar energy deployed at single family homes are questionably worth it for normal housing situations. Homeownership is increasingly out of reach for younger generations. And the 4 problems that we solve through the quad co-op solution. And as we've mentioned, we're specifically niching it towards gig workers. And that's one of the things that we do have, just to be clear, we have identified some other strategic niches for quad co-op, and that's traveling nurses, airline professionals, and the baby boomer generation. And that's something that we can expand in later after we solve, because the big value proposition with gig workers is that those people, that niche out of the 4 that I just mentioned, gig workers, traveling nurses, airline professionals, and baby boomers, the gig workers consume a substantially larger amount of power if they're gig working, like using a vehicle like a Tesla. So anyway, the main thing with this project is to simplify the narrative, and that's basically what quad co-op is like. The way that we're simplifying the narrative is solar EV for gig workers. So like going back to the submission template, so this would be project name, and I'm going to just populate this here real quick. And do you think that I should leave the project name here like this and then change it to a different color? What do you think, Amy, Tyler?
Yeah, different color would be good.
So we'll call this quad co-op, throw this in here. We'll see how well it copies in a different color. So we'll make this black like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Solar EV for gig workers. Okay, so we made some changes. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the working group here for filling in this stuff. So this is all stuff that we can work on. Something I'm going to also take the lead on, because the more like a template where somebody can copy and paste and then put in the details would be better. So let's work on getting that. And this is one of the things too. And just from a housekeeping standpoint, I wanted to again encourage people over here on Notion, because this is something that's going to be visible. Like right now, when you go to like quad co-op, and this is something that I still need to fix. Linktree. So right now we've got quad co-op, quad.coop, redirecting to our Linktree page. So when I'm talking about visible, like the only link, there's 2 links that are visible here. The green boxes, this is our Hero X team. Well, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, I think I simplified the narrative here. But at the end of the day, it does go here to our Notion page. And this is very navigable as far as like how that people can click around in this. So anyway, I really encourage people to create their team page or their information page there on our in Notion. So getting back to the agenda, we've talked enough about the submission template. This is something that we'll continue to talk about because it is the core aspect of our project submission. And going back here to that real quick. So the thing that I wanted to show real quick is I actually created a video, and it's only 90 seconds, and I want to take this time to actually play the video for everybody. Hopefully this will come across well on the Zoom. This isn't something that I normally do, but I'm thinking that it should. So anyway, I uploaded this to the Google Drive for Web3 Freedom Club, and I'm just going to open it up in another tab here and see if this goes.
I can't see anything on the video.
Oh, I thought that was just me. I can't hear anything.
Okay, well, apologies. I didn't know if that would work right. Or so this is something that I don't know if you have to do something to replay a video. So anyway, we can take that offline. This is something that everybody please watch, because before I spend any amount of time like polishing this up, and this isn't something that I would really like to get this finished here within the next, before our next working group, if not sooner. So one of the other things on that, let me go back to the agenda here real quick. So let me see if I've got a link. Anyway, I'll link everybody up on that, or make sure that everybody's got that so that we can look. So going through the list, I'm gonna keep on going here. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on the official submission checklist here, Tyler, as far as things to be thinking about in the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks, besides the letters of commitment or support? We haven't talked about the, and I know that Double D did a little bit of work on the PowerPoint slide. I'm not sure what platform or tool that you were using to create that in, but having the capability of editing that if we needed to in the future would be definitely worthwhile. What else did we need to touch on this checklist here, Tyler, that we didn't already?
I think that's good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let me go back to our agenda here for today. So, okay, so we talked a little bit before we came online, because right now we haven't had any conversations about another opportunity. And this is something that we, Amy, Tyler, and myself had a little bit of conversation about. And this is a separate Hero X. Let me actually bring open that here. And here's the link to Community Power Accelerator Round 2. So this is another opportunity that we have to solve this challenge for a team. And this one actually has more prize money available. And I think that there's actually more government funding available for EV charging, especially DC fast charging. My thoughts is that we should create a submission project for this, and whether we submit specifically for quad co-op or just break out a solar EV co-op, which is one of the 4 cooperatives within quad co-op, and create a separate submission for this. You said you watched the video, Amy, the webinar?
Yes, I did.
So what are your thoughts as far as the opportunity surrounding this for us?
Does it have the same deadline as the other one?
I believe the deadline is October 4th, technically. Okay. So it's not the same deadline, but with our travel plans at the end of September and the first part of October, functionally it would be the same internal deadline, because Tyler and I are going to be out of pocket, offline, and having fun with family, and then leaning into EXP Global in Las Vegas for the first week of October. So functionally the same deadline.
Yeah, for the Community Power Accelerator, what they wanted is really having the community itself be involved. So if there is a part of Colorado that is, you know, what you
So
call it?
here's I think that we could absolutely make the case for how that we're going to be funding, because we're wanting to provide like with Quad Co-op. Now, I think that there's another opportunity that's not the same niche that Quad Co-op has, but a same opportunity. Because like one of the things that I largely believe is that I'm uniquely positioned with my experience as a gig working Uber and Lyft driver here primarily in Colorado, but this isn't the only market that operated in, to know where we need EV charging stations. Because like right now, there's only primarily Tesla EV chargers available. So like my thoughts with the Community Power Accelerator, Amy, is that it would be very easy for us to create, like imagine a parking lot, like a grocery store, where, because like right now, besides Tesla supercharging, the other charger that has some traction is Electrify America. And I'm not sure if people are familiar with Electrify America, but it's basically a subsidiary of Volkswagen that Volkswagen deployed for the deployment of their 2 billion zero emissions infrastructure. But like with solar EV, one of the opportunities to create a community solar garden is to build the solar panels above the parking lot. And we've already seen that this is done in and I think it's over at the maybe at a couple locations in the Denver area. So I think that the opportunities to do a community solar garden, solar EV co-op, where that this would be basically a different solar EV co-op than the one that we're building through Quad Co-op, where it would be a community owned and operated like power garden that would also power, instead of just being the solar aspect, it would offload the solar to like a battery industrial like Tesla battery. And then it would also be able to be a DC fast EV charging station. And there's literally billions of dollars available for that as well. So I think it would be pretty easy for us to create a solar EV co-op to fit in this type of a submission that's a different model than Quad Co-op. I think that we could also, if we wanted to just potentially make the case, it would probably not fit within the same box that people are really looking for community power. Although the way that we're looking for it to be community owned through the token aspect, and then also cooperatively owned, the community would just be smaller. But like when you think about Uber and Lyft drivers, they're functionally supporting the community as well. But I think that we should submit for this as well. But I know that we're limited on time because we're less than 4 weeks for.
Jason,
go ahead, Amy.
I think if you can just cut and paste, we could do that. Just submit it and like go from there. But what I also wanted to share with you is, I know we are so ahead of everybody in understanding what we're trying to do, is just make it simple. Because the reason why some judges don't entertain a submission is if they cannot relate to it. If they cannot understand it, they cannot. So just let us make it as simple as we can. That way, we'll make sure that they understand what we're trying to do.
And that's one of the goals, like the feedback on this 90-second video, because that's really like it took some effort to simplify it, but I absolutely agree. And positioning solar quad co-op as solar EV for gig workers is it's about as simple as it can get to. And there's a lot going on under the hood as far as what we're planning on doing with the Web3 and the tokenization and the shared equity appreciation model and stuff like that. But that's something that I don't think we necessarily have to have all finalized, because again, this is just the first. And one of the things for us to keep in mind is that really the expectations are a 3 to 5 year out from a viability, like this being now. I think that, and Tyler and I both think that we're substantially closer for the viability of this model being ready for scalability. That's one of the reasons that we've talked about doing our quad co-op security token offering for Q1 of 2023. But anyway, let's continue to dive in and understand, because I've got some good ideas on the Community Power Accelerator, this additional opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and submit.
Jason,
go ahead, Amy. Yes.
I also want to remind you, and I don't know if it's a separate button to click, but don't forget about the JEDI submission on both of that if we are planning on submitting both.
I absolutely have that on the checklist as far as the JEDI contest submission here. So it's definitely something that we've got. And as I mentioned, I uploaded the template. So, and this is one of the things here. I created this, and I'm going to share this via Google Doc invite so that the people that are contributing as a team here can help get the submission finalized with some details and stuff. So I'll get that shared offline here later with everybody. So we've got that. So again, take this offline, do some homework for the Community Power Accelerator. And this is something that we've got details in the agenda. And let me share this here with everybody too. So, well, it's in the calendar invite, so everybody's got a link to it already anyway. So anyway, the details here, there's also the webinar. This is about an hour-long video. So thanks for taking some time to watch that, Amy. And this is one of the things that will work from a priority standpoint, work on finalizing our submission for Solar Prize Round 7. And like you said, Amy, the ability to copy and paste, and depending on how much efforts and stuff that I spend as far as potentially doing a more of a unique submission, time will tell on that. But I'll keep everybody posted on that as far as some thoughts as far as the solar EV parking lot community solar garden. I don't know of a good way to call that, but there's a real strong need and opportunity for more DC fast charging, especially that's not owned by Tesla, because that's really the best solution that's in the Denver market right now. So anyway, continuing on down the list. So upcoming details. So let's take a look at the upcoming calendar. And this is one of the things that, again, apologies for the late notice to everybody on the Zoom. This is one of the things. And if anybody loves doing stuff like coordination and or scheduling, this is something that an open invitation to you, for me, to help me do a lot of this stuff. And I don't know what that would look like, but send me or Tyler a DM if you're interested on that. So anyway, let me take a look at the calendar. This is our upcoming week here currently. And this is something that I will work on getting everybody a Google Calendar. Again, this is an interim solution until we get our website presence set up on Web3 Freedom Club. And to be completely honest, that's increasingly a lower priority here while working on finalizing our submission, because I don't think us having a super polished website would make a substantial difference. I don't think that they're actually expecting a lot of people to have that during this phase. I think that they're looking for viability from an ideation standpoint. But anyway, so the biggest thing that we've got coming up here is, besides our next working group, and this is something that I curbed here from this week due to time constraints, is our quad co-op patents documentation conversation. So right now we are planning to submit a provisional patent on 9/11, September the 11th. And I don't think that I actually broke this down as an agenda item, but that's when we're functionally going to be rebooting Retoken, the real estate DAO, as P-Token DAO. P-Token is going to be an important component. P-Token is basically going to be our property token. And P-Token DAO is going to be the centralized issuer of P-Tokens within the Web3 Freedom Club DAO ecosystem that we're building. And the way that it's going to work on the patent conversations here is that in order to be named as a named contributor, you need to be participating in the documentation conversations. And that's one of the things that we're looking to finalize our provisional patent submission on 9/11. And we're not going to go into too much detail for intellectual property purposes on the live stream. And this is one of the things that this conversation, the patent conversation, it will be recorded, but not live streamed. And this is one of the things that we will probably make publicly available after we get our provisional patents submitted. And then after we submit the provisional patent on 9/11, then we'll have 1 year to finalize. And from the way that I understand it, there only needs to be one named contributor on the provisional patent that's also as a named contributor on the final patent. So that would obviously be myself, because I'm going to be the ones leading these conversations. And these conversations may be a little bit more technical. We're planning on using mermaid.js. And anyway, if you're interested in that, make sure that you add your availability to the Let Us Meet. I'm going to throw this in the Zoom here for everybody as well, and on the live stream. So for our patent discussion breakout conversation, does anybody have any questions about the patent breakout conversation coming up here on Monday or Tuesday next week? Take the silence as a no and keep on moving along. So I don't have the Let Us Meet created. Do you think that we need, I'm just going to create one anyway. I'm wanting to make this as inclusive as possible as everybody, and with more people potentially joining the team between now and our next one. So let me get this Let Us Meet created here real quick. So Let Us Meet, for those of you that haven't used, is a tool that we love for people, and we do have global teammates contributing here. So we try to be as inclusive as possible. So I'm bringing open the one that we use for scheduling today's working group, which is right now. So let's copy some details for so we're doing this one on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, let's meet. And this is going to be for working group number 5. And just copying these details. Our 5th working group. And change this to 24-hour availability here. 2 hours, create. So here's the link for Let Us Meet WG number 5. So please add your availability to that. And with the due to the time constraints between now, I'm going to be doing a men's retreat this weekend. So I'm going to be not spending too much time thinking about Web3 Freedom Club and Quad Co-op between now and next Monday. So that being said, we probably won't have an office hours next week. And depending on if we stay with our working group schedule, and this is something that we may add in just depending on what things look like. But right now, probably won't have an office hours next week. And unless we bump this to like Wednesday, maybe on Thursday or Friday, but I'll make that decision here next week. So add your availability to the Let Us Meet, everybody. So check these boxes here. So here's the link for this Let Us Meet. There we go. So branding, need to finalize on the Quad Co-op logo so that I know Double D had some stuff that you were working on there. Where did you submit that, Double D? I'm going to bring open our D-Work board.
Yeah, I sense it's on the work.
Awesome. Well, that's what I'm loading up right now. And hopefully this isn't my computer being slow. And here's a link to.
Should I send it to the group chats?
It's loading up here. And I see a little alarm bell. Maybe it might be on my. Hey, Double D submitted work. See, I have the notification. Fans of D-Work, for those people that haven't used D-Work, it is a nice. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So D-Work, for those that aren't familiar, is a task management tool, Kanban style board. And it's a tool that we use for doing tasks. So this was task created an initial Quad Co-op logo, and we're a little bit behind here. We were planning on having this working group before. So here's some ideas that Double D submitted. And here's the one that I created for, let me find this on my, oh, let me just click on this link. So this is the one that I created, very, very basic using emojis. So one of the potential use cases, let me bring open this page. Let me do it in an incognito window here. One. So this is the reason that I'm bringing open this page is to be the details of our Quad Co-op. And it might be my computer or my internet that's going slow here. Well, I will just bring open the Notion page. It might look a little. So one of the things that I made a slight change since our last one is for whatever reason, this Google Maps was pretty large here. So I made that in a toggle box. So one of the reasons that I like the emojis, and I don't actually have the, well, I do have this logo up here, is one of the reasons that I like the emoji is that it makes it easy to, like, via text, visualize, because like we're talking, Quad Co-op is basically like at least 4 micro cooperatives that work synergistically together. So like the opportunity to use like an emoji, like this is just an emoji character within the keyboard or whatever it's called. So that's one of the reasons that I like the emoji. But did Amy, Tyler, anybody else want to provide some feedback or some thoughts on the? Because, like I said, I would really like to get a decision made on this so that we can like incorporate that into the 90-second video, for example.
You're flipping the screen around really fast. Can you just put Double D's designs back up?
I'm trying to find that. My apologies, Tyler. I wasn't doing that on purpose. There we go. Did you want me to stop on a particular one?
I mean, Double D, did you want to kind of talk through your design methodology or tell us anything about kind of what you're thinking about on these?
Okay, basically these are two designs. The first one, I used the idea of incorporating the four basic things we're working on, which is housing. Under the house, we have little solar panel with the car charging. So the other design under, can you go down? The other design, I just used the idea of quad co-op, the Q, to just get the logo. More of, I feel reusing the name is more, for me, is more simple, keeping the design more simple, since it's just a logo. Just for people to know that, okay, seeing this logo, it means quad co-op. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear.
Okay. Is my explanation enough or you need more?
No, I can understand it. Go ahead, Amy. I saw you open up your mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the second one. If you can put that in a circle because it has that Bitcoin logo in it. This one, yeah, the second
So
one.
are you talking
Yeah,
this one?
yeah, and just put
And
that in a circle like you
Oh,
did
the
this one.
Bitcoin. Is that the Bitcoin in the wheels?
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it
really
yeah,
slick.
is.
I missed that on my
So
phone.
that is so.
also I don't know if you can see it, but there's an underlay here.
yeah,
I
it
can
is
see
in the
what you're
video.
talking about, but like I also identify with like what, because I don't know how well that people can see the silhouette Bitcoin logo here.
I can see the
Um,
wheels better.
and also this is one of the things too that I think, just to simplify things, because like whether we use a hashtag or the domain itself, and like whether it's a hashtag quad co-op without the space here, or if we're going to put quad dot co-op, my only concern with the and at the end of the day, I think that there's so little stuff. But
Can I chime in on this one?
go ahead. Yeah.
In social media branding, making yourself a hashtag is what's important because people can find you real easy. So if you can, yeah, put that together and put a hashtag and let's roll with the branding. That with every post that we do, we hashtag quad co-op. Uh, that would help in the push in the social media aspect. And then on this other
So
design that he had, the Q symbol, I don't know which one you all like, but that could be used as our token design.
well, that's the thing. We're not going to have a token for quad co-op.
Oh, it's not quad co-op.
No. So that's one of the things. Like Quad Co-op is basically like a virtual container for, and that's kind of what trying to show here on this Notion page is that it's a, and there might even be an opportunity to use a combination of what I created with this, because like I really like the coloring and the opportunity to use this stuff. But like just to keep it where we can have here where people can visualize. So I don't know if there would be like a potential way to have both, and I don't know if that would make sense or not.
If you're doing a branding, I think, and if you want to incorporate his design with yours, if you have a way to do that, let's see how it looks like. I do like this one because it explains, you know, the project that we're doing in a more simplified visual way. The one that you did, I know it's very
Basic.
identifiable. Yeah, but there's really the art is not in there, and
It has
this,
no art at all.
yeah. So
So
I would prefer, you know, if you want to combine it in a way, but let's see what it looks like. But other than that, I like the one with the B wheels, with the Bitcoin wheels.
I do too. I think that there I like this as far as how it would appear. Can you put the B wheels on this? And then the other thing too, Double D, is can you make this silhouette be a Tesla Model Y?
Okay.
Tesla Model Y. That's their that's the one that we're planning on. And that, just as a side note, I think that that's currently, from what I understand, the best-selling car in America, potentially in the world
Can I see the
right
logo?
now.
Can I see the logo on the web?
Don't use Tesla's logo, but here's the link to the Model Y, and it's the and I don't know if it would make any difference or not, or how clean it would look. Let me go back to, oh, I think it was on this tab right here. And one of the things too that we're planning on doing, and this is a potential brand integration opportunity here, Double D, is we're wanting to do a brand around Tesla Black. So if potentially that the Tesla could be a black color, because that's something that's going to be like a branding opportunity, is Tesla Black is going to be one of the brands that we're creating. And like, true story, all the Teslas that we're going to be acquiring in our micro fleet, unless there's some weird anomaly that it's a used car, it's going to be a black on black Tesla. And that's because it checks more boxes for people, drivers, to be able to earn money. So if we could make this a black Tesla Model Y, where we're not using a Tesla logo, because we don't want to get into Tesla logo problems.
So you just want the silhouette, the design of the silhouette, right?
Yeah, and I think that there's a real strong opportunity to make it like a black Tesla, and maybe even say Tesla Black on there, or because we're going to be, like I said, and whether that's important or not, again, I don't really know. The go ahead, Double D.
I feel we using black might make us go against the brand color, which I use green and white. What do you think? But it's okay.
I think that
I
you
can
can
still try blackout if it works.
create with both. I mean, like, changing the colors really easy, right? But like there's a real strong need and opportunity for us to create Tesla Black. And I mean, this is something that we can talk to from a narrative standpoint very easily, because But anyway, create the logo that's got both the, like a black and a white one or whatever, to see how they look.
Okay.
So any other feedback on the logo stuff? But yeah, I absolutely do agree, Amy, that we need to get this finalized and get this running with, because that, like I said, depending on how everybody likes this 90-second video, the opportunity to create some branding. And I don't know if we can change. I think that we could change some of the branding depending on how we edit the video, the 90-second video. And I mean, I'm not opposed to doing a double take. It didn't take me that long to do that cut of that video. So
Double D, great job. These are all really nice looking. So appreciate the hard work on that.
Thanks. I actually dropped. You asked for an NFT, community member NFT. I just dropped a picture on the group chat, LinkedIn. Maybe you can check it out later.
Thank you, Double D. We appreciate you.
So any other thoughts on the logo, Quad Co-op logo? So, and just to clarify, Amy, you also think that we should incorporate the hashtag Quad Co-op here on the logo?
Yes, absolutely. That's how they look at things right now in social media, is the hashtag.
I agree. And Quad Co-op isn't getting used anywhere else, so it creates a real easy opportunity. I hear our daughter is awake, Tyler. All right, so getting back to our agenda here. So branding, and went through the video. So wanted to provide everybody an update. We did, and I think that we talked about this most recently on the office hours or something like that, but this is one of the things that we're having a kind of a unique use case, and this is outside of a normal request, was that we're wanting to install a commercial grade EV charger here at our proof of concept in North Glen. And right now it's not getting a strong support on that moving forward. So that doesn't mean that we're giving up on that, but there's also some other solutions. So there's a couple opportunities with that, one of which is other municipalities. This is something that we've already talked a little bit about, but there's at least a dozen different municipalities of various sizes here within the Denver area. And I'm going to take this as an action item between myself and Tyler to create a short list. And if anybody wants to be involved in the reaching out of that, if you would like to do that, let us know. Otherwise, that's something that Tyler and I will probably take on as well. So one of the things that I did want to talk about is, and this is one of the things that we can and should be thinking about, is solutions. So right now, one of the reasons that we were wanting to install a commercial grade charger is so that we could separate the billing for the energy used for the car. So again, like the cooperative Quad Co-op is having one driver, one Tesla minimum. Like we would really like to have two drivers, one income producing Tesla. So, and then in order for it to be a fair economics, because energy is not free in 2023, and nor will it likely be for the foreseeable future. So the opportunity to fairly charge, and that was what we were looking to do with the charge point charger. So what I was wanting to do was one of the tools, and you think about a smart car, Tesla is a very smart car, and us being Tesla owners for a while, we've actually used this solution on other Teslas, but we have let me find that window where it's at here real quick. We have our data on TeslaFi here. So, and let me open up an incognito window so that you can all see. So TeslaFi is basically is a data aggregator site for Tesla owners. And this is a service that we pay Teslafy like $5 a month for, just to provide a little backstory. So what it does is the Tesla API, which is basically like dev speak for how to get data from the Tesla. So this is what the dashboard looks like. And one of the things that this provides is lots of different information about our car. And this is actually the name of our car. There's the VIN for our car. This is something that I'll probably put a different, what do you call it, name in there, like quad co-op or something. But anyway, what I was wanting to show here was the charging stats. So this is something that we can very easily create a report on. This is the address, and for whatever reason, I don't know if the GPS was slightly off here, but these two line items, so we could easily add these two together and we could create a statement at whatever rate that we wanted to charge the Tesla car cooperative from the solar EV cooperative. So that's kind of some thoughts, and this is one of the opportunities that we can think about, because one of the big conversations is generative AI, and the more opportunities that we can collect data ourselves instead of a third party like Teslafy collecting this data, because this is something that we could potentially create and then automate at some point in the future ourselves. Because the more that we can automate the various things, the easier that it will be to scale to hundreds or thousands of cars in a decentralized micro fleet. So that's some alternative solutions for not being able to directly bill. One of the other things that happened between now and our office hours was we actually had a conversation with Bulla Network. Bulla Network is Web3 accounting and crypto. And this is one of the things that we're going to, this and Utopia Labs are two demos. Let's see, Utopia Labs, I'll open up this. So we had a demo with Utopia Labs earlier in the month, banking for crypto companies. And when you think about each one of these micro cooperatives in quad co-op that we're talking about over here, let me go back to our proof of concept here for quad co-op. Each one of these cooperatives, you've got the car co-op, and right now we only have one car pictured. We're wanting to have, when we get this car, the car that you see pictured up here, we own 4, we'll probably add to this model as well. So that would bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 micro cooperatives that we would be supporting within this model. So one of the reasons that we're wanting to figure out the crypto blockchain-based accounting is so that we can most effectively scale. Because one of the ways that we're going to be managing our assets is with safe.global, formerly known as Gnosis Safe. And this is one of the things that we created let me actually go ahead and go to the Utopia Labs app. Did you, Amy, or Tyler want to chime in about the demo from Bulla Network or Utopia Labs at all?
I mean, it sounded cool. I'm not gonna know for sure until we start using it, but I mean, it definitely seemed interesting.
Don't they have like the testing thing that we asked from them for us to dry run?
Yeah, the demo, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I was just going into here on the screen was switching to, so I'm connecting my MetaMask wallet. We've got, so let's see. So this is the one that we created on our, or in anticipation for our demo, was this one here. And let's see. So I don't think I've even set up, let me actually go to this other one, because I think I set this up on this profile. So this is the Web3 Freedom Club .eth wallet. I can't remember if I set it up on this one or not. But yeah, anyway, the thoughts are here, and it might have been a different one. Anyway, gonna take that offline, and yeah, so wasn't with this one. So the thoughts are, and let me get back to the agenda, is to use a easy Web3 right here. So I'm going to check these boxes off. So easy Web3 is a brand for centralizing. We talked about doing Web3 business services unit, and I really like easy Web3 from a branding standpoint a lot better. And this is one of the things that really, from an idea standpoint, came up for making Web3 easy. Because like one of the things that we want to do as well is make this model as easy as possible for other people to operate in. And I was like, when we were having the conversations with Bulla, they were really bringing things through an invoice lens. And I was like, man, a lot of people don't really operate like most normal people, consumers, unless you're in a business, you don't really deal with invoicing. And our expectation is that a lot of the people that we're going to be putting in this quad co-op model aren't necessarily going to be real experienced with the business of invoicing either. And then in thinking about like having potentially hundreds or thousands of these micro cooperatives for either cars and or houses and or solar EV charging stations, the opportunity to consolidate some of the stuff and get the stuff set up, like the stuff being finances, and so the thoughts are right now, because like one of the limitations from my perspective is that visualizing data. So like we're talking about like how many normal bills would you say that there are, Tyler, for the house here in North Glen a month?
Around a dozen. Power, internet, stuff like that.
Yeah, so a dozen at the most. And one of the things thinking this through is that these will be the same type of dozen bills for whomever. So right now the thoughts is to create an easy Web3 of Colorado that we can centralize the handling of the bill payments. Because like, and one of the things that we were talking about, I think that there's actually bill payment services. And one of the things that, and this is kind of like a content niche or tilt that I had kind of an aha moment for the other day, is like when you think about what we're talking about here, home management, because like this is like one of, I think, some people's concerns with like having a single family house versus an apartment building. Like, had you ever owned a house before, Tyler, before we got married?
I had a condo that I meant to be a primary residence, ended up turning into rental property because I bought it and then pretty much immediately moved out of it. But no, I'd never owned a house, and it was really kind of a crazy transition to see what that looked like, starting to think about things like furnace filters and all kinds of maintenance that you just don't care about when you're a renter.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that a lot of renters have is like, oh, I don't want the responsibilities of owning a house. And the more that we can like package some of these responsibilities, like paying bills, and that's one of the things that like, because once you get like a bill set up for auto payment, it normally gets paid automatically. And one of the challenges is that during this bridge is that most companies won't be accepting crypto. And just for clarification, we're primarily looking at using USDC on Polygon for the foreseeable future. It seems to be the most composable, the most accessible as far as on-ramping and off-ramping. And I'm not going to go into details. That's just based upon the observations for me operating as a Web3 native today in 2023. So right now the thoughts is to create a wallet, a multi-sig wallet for each payee, like Excel, the public utility here in Colorado. So we'll have a wallet, Easy Web3 of Colorado for paying. And then we can send from the safe that we create for the co-op, the micro cooperative, because each one of these cooperatives here will have their own multi-sig safe. And this is one of the things that we're going to use in Notion. And let me just show everybody here real quick. And this is one of the reasons that we love Notion is for that. So safe multi-sig wallet. So this is a table, this is our database of where we're keeping track. And I'm actually going to update this to a smart contract database for that. But so is what I'm saying making sense as far as creating the, this is kind of like, I would say, a workaround for getting some interim.
Hopefully we can get all this. Sorry. Hopefully we can get all this actually started and going before our submission, so we can show that it is working. It's not just theoretical.
Well,
I could
and
not hear anything.
no, that was on me. I was on mute.
Oh.
So, in thinking through what you were saying there, Tyler, I don't know how much of this would really necessarily need to be finished or done to, because when you think about like the model itself, regardless of the intricacies of what's under the hood, I think where this would most come into play is what we would include within our provisional patent documentation. And this is one of the things, depending on how that we break up our patent submissions as well. So, because my concern, and this is going back to Amy's point, is we could potentially overcomplicate our submission where it would be too confusing for people, and the stuff under the hood, I don't know how much that we necessarily need to include that within our narrative.
Well, I definitely agree on it being too complicated and needing to be simplified. So that's a great point. And the other thing is, if we just really pound home solar, even though that is not our sole focus, it's such a big part of it. We just make sure that's really highlighted in the application.
Well, I mean, we're calling quad co-op solar EV for gig workers. So, and on that too, like one of the opportunities that we have is, and I don't know what would be the best way to include this, but getting some accountant, CPA, IRS enrolled agent, somebody along those lines that says, hey, this solar EV cooperative, the cooperative participants would be eligible for the solar tax credits in this model. Because I think that that's one of the big value propositions of this model is that the gig workers and or the housemates can benefit from the tax credits available for this model. So I don't have anybody in mind, and I don't know if somebody wants to take that on as a research effort. This is definitely something that we could create, but this would be like a strong opportunity for a letter of support that this is a viable, the solar EV would be a viable tax credit for the participants, the cooperative members.
I need to chime in, Jason.
Sure.
In that video, I think I remember what they said also was, because you're so niche, they wanted to know how this can be scaled. And if you are bundling up all 4 services for it to scale, it might not resonate with them. I think we could, and I don't know how you feel about that. We could, if it is gig workers for, solar EV, we need to kind of pull some numbers per data on how many gig workers are there or whatever, and because they want to know that this will scale. There will be investors that are going to be, they have a link wherein you can sign in and see who are participating as investors, who are participating as mentors and all that. And they said that, those investors are going to review the paperwork, and we need to address this as a business, not just a passion, because those people that's going to review this paper want to know if they're going to get their money back.
Well, when you say get their money back, this is prize money, so this isn't like any.
Yeah, like I said, if you're just thinking about the prize money, you might not fall into the category, because they want growth in this scenario. They want to know how you can be scaled, and with that, there will be investors looking at it. Is what I'm saying. It's not just the prize money.
No, I absolutely understand that they're looking for something that's commercially viable, and that this is one of the things that I alluded to earlier, is that most of the people that are looking at this, they're looking for something to be commercially viable within a 3 to 5 year time frame. And I absolutely do agree that we need, and this is something that Tyler and I have been working on, as far as the numbers, the underlying numbers. We know that the numbers add up from a viability standpoint. And this is one of the things to, one of the tools that we're specifically looking at is grid.is. And this is another opportunity for people that love learning new tools, whoever that may be on the call right now. This is an opportunity. We're wanting to use this tool for visualizing the data, because the thing that's fabulous about this is that the data visualization it's something that you can play. The opportunity for us to show the underneath for each one of these operating companies absolutely exists. So grid.is, again, that's one of the tools that we talked about and we'll continue to talk about. It's the best tool that I have seen as far as the data visualization from a numbers standpoint. So that's something that we're wanting to, again, include as well, Amy. So thanks for bringing that up. So going back to the easy Web3, this is something that this is the first time that we've had any vocal conversation about this, Amy. How are you liking easy Web3?
I think as a service, this is something that we can latch on really and scale up. This is something that we can offer a lot of people.
I absolutely agree. And this is one of the things too that there's a domain here at Unstoppable Domains that I was actually wanting to register here on the live stream. So Unstoppable Domains, one of the reasons that we like it compared to ENS is that it's mostly built on Polygon ENS as in .eth. And this is one of the things, like I was talking a little bit about doing some of these safes. And there's a lot of opportunity for us to use subdomains here like yonks.ez web3.wallet that we could have as a benefit, or we could incorporate this into other stuff as well. But yeah, so home management as a service, this is something that I was wanting to take a look at too. I think that there's a real strong opportunity, and let me see if this will work correctly here. Let me just go to google.com. So this is one of the advanced tips. I'm actually in an incognito window and I'm doing this on purpose. So one of the ways that I like to do a search is by putting stuff as a quote. So one of the things that does is it only shows you the results. So this means that Google has only indexed 10,600 pages. So let me show you for perspective. Let me do another one. Let me just do home management. Home management. So a lot more, 5 million home management. So let's do another search here just for some comparison purposes. So one of the things that we're going to be functionally doing within this model is replacing property management. So traditionally, property management normally commands at least a 10% service charge. And that's one of the ways that we're going to pass some of the value that gets created through this decentralized model that we're building here to the people, the co-op participants in this model. But this is what I was wanting to look at, property management here. I was going to change this to property. So property management itself. So just to provide some perspective here, 5 million, 5.13 million results for home management. Property management, on the other hand, has 94 million, almost 95 million results. And this is something that, like I said, people pay for. So I think the opportunity for us to create home management as a service absolutely exists. And like, this is something that we can kind of bake in as like a requirement for this, and whether it's home management as a service or maybe even fleet management, because like that's one of the things that we need to create a model for decentralized fleet management as well. Not going to go into details as to why during the live stream. Just understand and respect that there will be values for us to be positioned as a fleet management company in the future. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through and grab this easy Web3 wallet from Unstoppable Domains. So I think I'm already signed into the account. I think I've already got so let me just do a real quick search here. Easy Web3. And it looked like that Unstoppable Domains added a new .go domain. It's not something necessarily interested in right now. And one of the things too that is a potential opportunity is the opportunity for us to do a tokenized sub-community. I mean, we're doing a lot of tokens already anyway. And this would be one of the ways that we could provide a proof of contribution mechanism. We don't need to make a decision on this tonight, but think about this. Like a Easy Web3 token for Easy Web3 of Colorado. And we're wanting to set this up on, remember, a state-by-state basis, because this is a model where we're creating a model for Colorado with the goal of doing a security token offering Right now, we're shortlisting that for 2024 Q1. We'll see if that's realistic or not. I'm actually going to start having some conversations probably this next week with some security token people, INX and DigiShares are a couple at the top of the list, but if you have some others that you're interested in that are on your radar, reach out to me. But INX and DigiShares are at the top of the list. But anyway, so these are some of the domains that are available. The one that I liked the best was the .wallet, and the immediate use case is to use this at like where we could do a co.easyweb3.wallet, and then this would be like maybe Excel, for Excel is the local utility here. And then we would actually create a multi-sig wallet that Easy Web3 of Colorado would be the owner of. And then for all of the payments from all of the micro cooperatives that have an Excel payment, we would facilitate that back to this wallet. So that's the immediate use case that we're looking to do with this unstoppable domains. And the reason that I'm talking this through is the more that we can create some type of documentation, like with mermaid.js, like, and that's where the conversation, process documentation conversation is really going to come into play. So anyway, I'm going to take a look at all of these Indians here real quick. So this is the one that we've gotten in the cart and the one that I was planning on getting right now. We are planning on using .x. We've actually got quadcoop.x, but right now easyweb3.x is already owned by somebody. So anyway, .wallet is quite usable, and that's actually what we're planning on using it for anyway. So this is probably an even better use case. So let me go to the cart. I can't remember. I might be a few USDC short of completing this checkout. So go to checkout. I might have to send some crypto over here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this off screen. So anyway, we're getting close to the end of our time here. I'm going to complete the checkout here. I'm really excited about Easy Web3. I really like this compared to Web3 Business Services Unit. We've got some other domains surrounding Easy Web3 in a shopping cart for pork bun. But anyway, I wanted to open this up here for just some initial thoughts. We've talked about a lot of stuff, as we always do during our working groups, but wanted to kind of open this up here for some other thoughts, because this is kind of the time that we allow for decisions, next actions, and all of that other stuff. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for putting all the work in on this. I know you've been carrying most of the work for everybody, so definitely appreciate all of the effort. And I know we didn't really get into the white paper too much, but everything that we've added, we need to have a group here at some point to just go over the narrative and get that dialed in and figure out what we're going to do. And then Double D, maybe you can design some things around it to make it look really nice.
And that's one of the things that I'll commit to, Tyler, between now and our next working group, is trying to get some placeholders on the calendar for between now and our submission deadline. Internally, it's the 19th of September, and that's in anticipation for our family vacation, because we're going to be driving from Colorado to Missouri, Southwest Missouri, for a Yonker family vacation coming up here the last week of September.
Can I come join the vacation?
Nope, this is exclusive only to the Yonker family. So this will be functionally the first time that my adult kids will bring at least my daughter, who's been married for several years now. It'll be the first time that we're having a family vacation there with her husband. So looking forward to that.
Wow. Nice.
And great work on the logos, Double D. Looking forward to having a more polished branding experience here. And that's one of the things that we will lean into more here. And just to be clear with everybody, like Tyler and I have been building, as Amy can attest to. Amy's been with us here for literally years now. Double D's been working with us for at Retoken, and regardless of what happens with the Hero X project, this is something that we're going to continue to work on. This is something that we've been working on for years. And the model that we've got now is a very evolved and refined model. There's a lot of stuff that we're not even going into, some secret sauce aspects of this that we're really excited about. And that's one of the things that we're pulling back a little bit so that we can focus on getting a really clean submission surrounding quad co-op for our American Made Challenge. And I'm really excited too about this one, the Community Power Accelerator, because this has even more prize money available, and there's also more money on the let's see, it's ChargePoint, Nevi, Discover. So this is another opportunity here. The Nevi, National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, has literally billions available. And my concern is that if it's not somebody like us seeking the funding, it's going to go to somebody else, because this is something that, like, when the money is allocated from a government like this, it gets spent. So somebody's going to be getting this money. And I think that we can create more synergistic electric charging infrastructure that are cooperatively owned, that are potentially tokenized. That, because like most of these installations probably won't even have a solar component. So the opportunity for us to get some additional capital that's also available from the solar and bridge that with the electric vehicle charging. That's one of the things that's so powerful about this solar EV. And then by niching into the gig workers, that's where we can provide better benefit for a known user base. And just to clarify, Amy, this isn't an opportunity that's only niche specific for gig workers. You think about like anybody, like pizza delivery drivers or anybody that's driving. It's a very large pool. Like there's a Green Cab, let me see, Green Cab Co-op is a taxi cooperative
So,
here in, go ahead, Tyler.
Amy, just to put some numbers on, just in the Denver area, there's 5,000 rideshare drivers, and that doesn't include DoorDash and anybody else. The other thing is, it's definitely our preference to have the roommates and the drivers be the same people, but the model works even if they're not. So if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, we can still make it work with drivers in a co-op at the house and roommates and co-op housemates in a separate co-op at the house. So we definitely have a backup plan if there should be a way large enough market opportunity for the original plan to work. But even if it doesn't for some reason, we can still split it in half and it still works. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, what I really wanted is the numbers to back our presentation. And if you
Yeah.
have that, that's great. And what I also wanted to ask, because I don't have an electric vehicle, how do you charge? Do you put your credit card in? Do you how do you pay for this?
So
Yeah,
I'll grab this one. So it depends on where you're charging. So like here, we were specifically wanting to use, and let me open up this ChargePoint. So ChargePoint is the largest independent network for independent owner operators. Like so anybody can deploy a charge point at their point of business or whatever. And this is where we were wanting. So with ChargePoint, you have an account, and then ChargePoint, like when you would physically drive up to a ChargePoint charger, like I have, using my iPhone, my Apple Wallet, I've got the ChargePoint card. And then on the back end, they have my credit card. So like whenever my ChargePoint account needs to be topped off, then they bill my credit card $20 and then they put that $20 on my ChargePoint account. So now we normally, as a Tesla owner, charge at a Tesla supercharger when we're not charging at home. So like when we charge at home, there's not a meter. We literally just have it open. So like if a stranger rolled in and they plugged their Tesla in our driveway, they could get charge off of our charger. That's one of the reasons that we were wanting a charge point, so that we could charge the drivers at the point of sale using ChargePoint. Now, if we're unable to do that, that's where I was talking about the alternate options. So the way that you pay for the charging depends on what charger that you're at. Does that answer your question?
Basically, when you say that you wanted to set up ChargePoint, is this like a white label thing? Like you can set up 2 or 3 in one area and this is our ChargePoint, and people
Yeah,
that
so-
pay
Yeah, Amy,
pay
if you,
hold on.
Amy, if you've ever been to a,
Let me finish
live-
my question. If you wanted, like if 100 people charge on our system that day, it goes through our transaction. I don't know how ChargePoint does their business.
Yeah, so ChargePoint, one of the they have 2 ways that they do their business. They make money by selling equipment, and then the second way is that they have a network fee, so that they provide like the software. So they provide all of the capabilities, like we don't have to get a merchant account, right? So ChargePoint is a done for you solution for people, businesses, or whatever. And ChargePoint is a publicly traded company. There's other solutions available in the market. ChargePoint is the market leader. So, and this is the one that, like, you know, at chargepoint.com. And, you know, if we can't use ChargePoint's commercially available charger for whatever, there may be an opportunity for us to evaluate other types of home chargers, because ChargePoint, like for a commercial, I think would be hands down really the only viable option. Now, if we're unable, like if like where we're at here, the city of North Glen, like the final answer is no, then that may, like the last resort would be us figuring out another way to charge the driver for when they used the car. Now that might be a lot more complicated than doing a ChargePoint solution, but you know, that's something that we could potentially figure out.
Okay. One more thing. How long does it take to charge if your battery is empty using your ChargePoint?
So it depends. There's three levels of charging. So level 1 would be like what you plug your phone into. That's super slow. Level 2, like what we have here at our house, that gets approximately 25 miles an hour. So like a full charge is approximately 250 miles. So like if you were completely empty, 8 to 10 hours. And then like one of the opportunities, like if we do this community solar garden that's like at the parking lot or whatever for the community power. So that would be a DC fast. That's one that you can go from almost empty to full in like 30 minutes to an hour and a half.
And that's what ChargePoint provides, correct?
So ChargePoint provides the hardware for all 3 of those, whether it's level 1, level 2, or level 3. They have hardware for the entire gamut of for pretty much any way that you need to charge an electric vehicle. They have all of those options, including for fleet operators.
Okay, I'm gonna check their website.
Yeah, and just going back to the visualization of data, this is check their website too, grid.is. Easy Web3, I'm loving it. Home management as a service. So that's basically going to be like we're gonna create home management as a service for a product. Now, whether we really have that productized here for the final submission, I don't think that that's necessarily something that is that important. This is just kind of like what we're building in and how that we're operating with building and how that we're going to meet the objectives of the Web3 accounting. And I think that there's more opportunities around easy Web3 besides this. So this could be like a brand or a product suite of easy Web3 brands. And it just depends on how well that resonates with people as far as leaning into that. But I really like using it initially as a home management as a service. All right, well, anything else before we call it a wrap here for today? Still got a lot of stuff to do, but getting some clarity. I'm really looking forward to the breakout conversation on the patents and I'm gonna grab the book. I actually have the hard copy of the book right here, and I'll hold that up where you can see it. The official guide to mermaid.js. Looking forward to that. And this is something that I think that we'll be able to use for doing a good amount of our documentation as far as diagrams. There's lots of different use cases for Mermaid just besides the process documentation. But
Can you share the link on that one? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that app. If you can share a link that goes directly.
The book.
Oh, is it a book? See, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
it's not showing in the picture.
No, I've got it on my and I still have the thumbnail. I'll open it up in an Amazon page. Amazon. So Mermaid is already up there. So the official guide to Mermaid: create complex diagrams and beautiful flowcharts easily using text and code. So again, one of the reasons that wanting this is that it can easily embed in Notion or in any website for that matter. And then it makes it easier for collaborating in a dynamic like we are. So this was actually something that Blur's Day recommended. I don't even know if this book was available when he recommended this as a tool for our projects previously. So, yep, looking forward to that. That's Monday or Tuesday. Make sure if you're interested in that to add your availability to the Let Us Meet. So anyway, I always love hanging out with everybody on these working groups, and we go through a lot of stuff. And this is one of the things that we're going to get better at, working asynchronously to get some of the stuff done. And that's a combination of doing some tasks. Thanks again, Double D, for submitting your logos there on the DWork task. And this is something, like I said, we're going to get better at creating the tasks for this project and for what we're building. Because again, this project is what we're building here is going to continue on after the HeroX timeframe. And that's one of the things that will shift gears a lot into marketing in Q4 as we're really looking to. And I'm even more excited about that because getting great at affiliate marketing is something that I've wanted to get great at for years now. Any final thoughts, anybody, before we close this out?
Well, have a good rest of your day and good night to those that are not in US. Good night, Double D. Good night, NASA.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night,
Yes,
everyone.
good night, everybody.
Good night.